When I was 19, I was driving up Highway 101, and it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day, but it had rained the day before, and the roads were, kind of slick. I spun out and I hit the guardrail backwards. The guardrail snapped in half, and half of it came through my driver's side and took a chunk off of this leg and went clear through this leg, pretty much. I ruptured my bladder, I broke my pelvis in 4 places, and I lost my spleen. But, looking back at everything, I recognize that it could have been a lot worse. I don't know if it was the pain medication or the sedatives I was on, but, I just knew that it was gonna be okay. Like, I just shrugged my shoulders, and my mom said, "You're just really happy to be alive, aren't you?"
My dad and my mom were rice farmers in a little town called Maxwell, which is like an hour north of Sacramento along I-5. And so I was riding with my parents on this tractor, and my mom was driving, my dad was sitting passenger, and something happened that jammed the tractor in the back, and my dad went back to see what was wrong with it and told me to stay there with my mom. But when my mom wasn't looking, I snuck back real fast because I wanted to help my dad. And the whole tractor kind of started shaking, and I lost my balance and fell, and my leg went into this auger. I remember I screamed. It happened all kind of very fast. This fireman was holding me up like this, and I looked down and I could see my left leg was like cut like a slinky, hanging down.
I was about 1.5 when it happened. My grandmother was the one who took care of me the first couple years of my life, and she said she noticed a black, it looked like a mole on my foot. So she went to go see a doctor, and they're like, well, it could be like a boil, or it could be, just like a little skin infection, just keep an eye on it. But it was still causing me a lot of pain, and it got a little bigger. But they didn't think it was skin cancer, so they did more biopsies, and they found out it was bone cancer in my ankle. So they actually amputated from the ankle down, but they said they didn't get all of it after a few months went by, and so they amputated from the knee down.
It was a freak accident. Just basically what happened is I controlled the bike at 40 miles an hour, was lost, and I hit a telephone pole. And the guy wire that severed my leg, the telephone pole broke my hip and femur, the fence broke my foot and wrist, and I tumbled 200 feet. So it was quite a spill. I knew something was wrong, I knew I was hurt, I knew I was injured, but I didn't know how bad. My leg was 200 feet behind me.
The doctors told me that I would never walk again. And then one day, I decided to ask why. Why is it that I can't ever walk? Are they me? And it took me about 2.5 years to really get good on my prosthetic. I remember having a lot of pain and, just emotional pain and physical pain, and wanting to give up, and just telling myself, you know what? This might be hard and it might be painful, but if I want to reach this goal, then I just have to make sure that every day I'm doing something that's going to take me one step closer to that.
My life today is the cumulative result of many, many people that contributed. The engineers who made the helicopter, the nurses, the people who donated blood, the volunteer firefighters. I know what it's like to feel sorry for myself, experience depression, but I've also learned that that your happiness is kind of an attitude issue, and I can be sad about the left foot that's gone, or I can be thankful for the right foot that's still there, So that's what I do. I just be thankful that I'm keeping it, I'm putting my best foot forward.
I have the knee cap, but I don't have the working knee. What they did was they took the cap and they put it over the stump as protection, so it'd be easier for me to have a prosthetic. My mom actually has my first one. She uses it as a pencil holder. my family never treated me any different because of my amputation. They were like, don't treat her special because then she's gonna think that she's special. And I'm like, well, first of all, I am pretty special, but I get what you're trying to say, you know. I get what you mean, and and I'm thankful for that. But kids weren't that great. But the way I handled it was I just was me, you know. I never bullied people or treated them any different.
But I was communicating. I made 2 phone calls while I was laying on the ground. One was to the motorcycle shop because I had parts ordered. I canceled the order for my parts because my bike was destroyed. Well, the first call was to the girlfriend, of course, letting her know that I'd been in an accident and what had happened. I still ride, which people say, you're crazy, why, you lost a leg. I said, well, I got another one to lose. You can't stop living because of this. A lot of people are affected in the sense that they think this is the end. I never felt that. I never felt that this is the end.
You know, I went to school and I got my degree in psychology, and now I'm involved in these businesses, and it's helping me develop who I am and work on me up here, you know. And you have to become the person that you hope to inspire others to be. Just never give up. Never give up. And I know that sounds cliche, but just never give up. You know, I never thought I would be walking again. Even if I didn't necessarily believe I would get to where I wanted to be, I knew that if I just took little steps, I would eventually get where I needed to be. Surround yourself with people that push you, because you might be mad at them, but you will thank them later.
My business is called Samaritan Disability. My whole career is devoted to helping people with disabilities and injuries and so forth. It's alleviating an aspect of a person's suffering, and it makes me feel good. There's purpose, and I'm taking my passion and applying it in an area where I have skill to make a positive difference. I'm married now. We've been married for 6 years, my wife Liz, and we have a 9-month-old son. His name is Layton. I know he's watching me, and I want to leave a good legacy and set a good example for him. And I feel like I'm in this position of stewardship, and I recognize that I'm in that position, and I take it seriously.
I love being there for patients. We may have only be there for like a half hour of their day, but it's like the best half hour for me. I get to learn about people's backgrounds, I get to learn about their stories, I get to be there to listen to them. I go to the amputee support group meetings. I've been doing that for about 3 months now, visiting other amputees who are going through various degrees of healing. I know as far as my amputation goes, I got mine pretty early, so I know my story is different from them, but I like to be support. And also I am part of the online community, so I like to help counsel through there. There's a website called 7 Cups of Tea I like to join. I used to be really adamant there, like be there every day, but now I try and just be there when people need me. I'm kind of like on call. But I made sure that my profile says that I'm there for people with disabilities, especially when they're going through anxiety with their disability. It's my life's work right now. If you're worried too much about your past, you're gonna make yourself very upset. If you're worried too much about the future, you're gonna make yourself more anxious. The only ever moment that you have in your life is right now.
Because I can walk into a room and see somebody at their worst, absolutely worst, because they think their life is over. And I basically tell them, hey, this isn't the end. Tell them we can make you the best leg ever in the world, but if it just sits in the corner because you don't want to put it on, it means nothing. But if you can put it on and you work every day at getting better and propelling yourself, it'll be amazing. I'm a tough coach. It's just I'm blessed to still be here, and I know that I can help others. Because of where I'm at in my life and what these guys do for me here, I'm able to do what I do. And they give me the freedom to do what I do. That's the key. You got to be able to have good support. And that was one thing that I did have through all this, was family support.